There is a moment when a person becomes impossible to manipulate, and most people never realize when it happens. It's not when they get louder, it's not when they get angrier, it's when they get quieter. And once you cross that line, you can never go back. For years, we've been lied to about what mental strength really is. We think it's about being tough, about never breaking, about posting quotes about grinding and healing and never giving up. But look at the truly unshakable people you know, the ones who don't panic when everything falls apart, the ones who don't need validation. They aren't the loudest in the room, they're the calmest. Psychology shows us that mental strength is not built in big dramatic moments, it's built in tiny, invisible habits that you repeat every single day when no one is watching. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down 7 of those habits. 7 habits that don't look impressive at first, but quietly rewire your brain to become immune to manipulation, to drama, to distraction. And habit number 7 is the one most people fail at because it requires you to do the opposite of what the entire world is doing every morning. Let me tell you about 2 people. Both wake up to the same world. Same stress, same bills, same toxic people, same uncertainty. The first person wakes up and immediately grabs his phone. Before his feet even touch the floor, he's already inside 20 other people's lives. News, drama, someone's opinion, someone's success. His brain is flooded with noise before he even had a chance to think his own thoughts. For the rest of the day, he's reactive. He argues in comments, he over-explains himself, he says yes when he wants to say no. He can't stand being alone, so he fills every silence with scrolling. When someone disrespects him, he explodes, and then he spends the whole night regretting it. The second person wakes up in the same world, but his morning is silent. He watches more than he speaks. He says no and doesn't apologize for it. He can sit alone in a room for an hour and not feel lonely. When someone tries to provoke him, he just smiles because he knows something the first person doesn't. The difference between them is not talent. It's not luck. It's not intelligence. It's 7 small habits. Habits that look boring, but over 6 months, they create 2 completely different humans. Let's break them down. This is where 99% of people lose the war before it even begins. Your brain, in the first 20 minutes after waking, is in a highly suggestible state. It's like wet cement. Whatever you pour into it in those first minutes will set the tone for the next 16 hours. Most people pour in anxiety. They put their phone on, not on airplane mode, but on panic mode. Notifications, emails, headlines designed to make you angry. Mentally unstoppable people do the opposite. They protect those first minutes like their life depends on it. Keep your phone on airplane mode. No input, no output, just you. Make your bed, drink water, sit for 2 minutes, breathe. Write down one thing you will control today. Psychologists call this a locus of control ritual. You're telling your brain, I decide how this day starts. The world doesn't. Silence isn't boring. Silence is power. If you can't control your first hour, you will never control your day. Weak people talk to be heard. Strong people observe to understand. Think about the last argument you had. Did you really listen, or were you just waiting for your turn to speak? When you talk less, 2 powerful things happen. First, you conserve energy. Every word you speak costs you mental energy. Useless arguments, gossip, explaining yourself to people who have already decided to misunderstand you. It drains you. Second, you gain information. When you are quiet, people reveal themselves. They tell you their insecurities, their intentions, their patterns. You start to see who is genuine and who is performing. Try this for 1 week. In every conversation, speak 30% less than you normally would. Listen twice as much as you talk. Don't rush to fill the silence. Observation gives you control. Reaction takes it away. The person who can watch without reacting is the person no one can manipulate. This one will change your life more than any productivity hack. Every time you say yes when you really want to say no, you're teaching your brain that your needs don't matter. You're training people to disrespect your time. Mentally strong people understand a fundamental law. No is a complete sentence. You don't need a paragraph. You don't need a tragic backstory. You don't need to say, I'm so sorry, I would love to, but I have this thing. And you just say, no, I can't do that. Full stop. Guilt will come up. Let it. Guilt is not a sign that you did something wrong. It's a sign that you're breaking an old people-pleasing pattern. Boundaries are not rude. Boundaries are self-respect. Every time you say a clean, calm no, you're depositing energy back into your own bank account, and the right people will respect it. The wrong people will be offended by it, and that's exactly how you filter them out. Here's a test of mental strength. Can you sit alone in a room with no phone, no music, no distraction for 30 minutes and not feel anxious? Most people can't, because the moment it's quiet, their thoughts get loud. Unstoppable people have learned to make solitude their superpower. They don't need constant company, they don't need constant noise. They schedule time alone on purpose. A walk without headphones, a coffee alone, sitting in silence at night. Why? Because that's where clarity lives. In solitude, you finally hear your own thoughts instead of everyone else's opinions. You process what happened. You understand what you actually want, not what Instagram told you to want. Loneliness is when you are alone and you hate yourself. Solitude is when you are alone and you enjoy yourself. Learn to enjoy your own company and you will never be desperate for the wrong company again. This is the hardest habit and the most powerful. Someone insults you. Someone talks down to you. Someone tries to trigger you on purpose. Your old brain wants to explode, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong. Don't. Maturity is understanding that not every action needs a reaction. When you react emotionally, you give away your power. You are saying, you have control over my nervous system. When you stay calm, you keep your power. You force the other person to deal with their own behavior. This doesn't mean you accept disrespect. It means you respond strategically, not emotionally. Take a breath. Pause for 3 seconds. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months? If not, let it go. If yes, respond with calm, clear boundaries, not with rage. The calmest person in the room is always the most powerful. Always. People can trigger you only if you have forgotten that your peace is more expensive than their provocation. We live in a world addicted to comfort. If we feel bored, we scroll. If we feel sad, we shop. If a task is hard, we quit and look for an easier one. Mentally weak people run from discomfort. Mentally unstoppable people lean into it. Growth never happens in comfort. Your brain grows like a muscle. It needs resistance. That hard conversation you've been avoiding. Have it. That workout you don't want to do it. That 30 minutes of deep work that feels boring, sit through it. Psychologists call this distress tolerance, your ability to sit with uncomfortable feelings without instantly trying to escape them. Every time you do something hard, even when you don't feel like it, you are literally rewiring your brain. You are proving to yourself, I can do hard things. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Motivation comes after action, not before. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. This is the habit that connects all the others. Look at your anxiety. 90% of it comes from trying to control things you were never meant to control. You cannot control other people's opinions. You cannot control the past. You cannot control if it rains tomorrow. You can control your effort today. You can control what you eat, what you watch, who you give your time to, how you speak to yourself. Mentally unstoppable people have a ruthless filter. They ask 2 questions every day. 1, is this within my control? 2, if yes, what is one small action I can take? If no, can I let it go? Worrying changes nothing. Action changes everything. The moment you stop fighting the uncontrollable, your life becomes lighter. Your mind becomes clearer. Your energy comes back. You stop trying to change people and you start changing your own patterns. And ironically, that's when everything around you starts to change. Now, here is the surprising truth that no one tells you. These 7 habits don't make you cold. They don't make you emotionless. They don't make you a robot. They make you deeply human. Because when you are not wasting energy on distractions, arguments, people-pleasing, and worrying about things you can't control, what is left? What's left is a huge amount of energy to actually love, to actually create, to actually be present. The strongest people don't show off their strength. They build it in silence. They don't post about healing every day. They heal quietly. They don't chase motivation. They create it. Think about it. A truly strong person doesn't need to tell you they are strong. You just feel it when you are around them. Their calmness, their boundaries, their presence. Mental strength is not about never feeling fear or sadness or anger. It's about not being a slave to those feelings. It's built in those tiny moments when no one is watching. When you choose airplane mode over notifications, when you choose observation over reaction, when you say no, when you sit alone, when you stay calm, when you do the hard thing, when you let go of what you can't control. Do this for 30 days. Not perfectly, but consistently. And you will notice something strange. People will start to treat you differently. Not because you demanded respect, but because you started respecting yourself. You will become less triggered, more focused, more peaceful. And that's the moment when you become impossible to manipulate. Because a person who controls his morning, his words, his boundaries, his solitude, his temper, his discomfort, and his focus, that person cannot be controlled by anyone else. If this shifted the way you see strength, if this made you realize that power was never about being louder, but about being calmer. Subscribe, because in the next video, we go even deeper into the psychology of people who can read a room in 5 seconds and why everyone underestimates them. And tell me in the comments, which one of these 7 habits are you going to start with tomorrow morning? I'll see you there.